What is going on, YouTube? Oh man, we are back again with a challenge community video that was given to me by my friend Matt, aka ChillScissors. Awesome dude, awesome channel, and just awesome collection in general. And Matt asked me, challenged me, what is 5 games, my top 5, that I've either completed 100% or I basically picked up and could not put down until I beat that game. I am not a completionist. I am not somebody that sits around and just, grinds hours and hours into games. I usually start off by trying to do every side quest and stuff like that, but then after a while, starting to get sick of the game, so then I decide, hey man, I better get back to that main quest to try and finish it up. So for this video, I'm going to show the 5 games that I more than likely did not completely complete item-wise, like, collect every feather in Assassin's Creed, or collect all the horseshoes in, I think, San Andreas or something like that. All those ones that are just crazy hard. But I did pick some of the games that I when I started to play, I could not stop playing, that I thought about all the time, in between play times, and also when I was actually not playing the game, and let's say it's at work or something like that, watching YouTube videos on lore and stuff like that, which is going to lead me into my first one, which was Elden Ring. This was a crazy game that I did not think I was going to like. I originally played it for an hour or so when a coworker let me borrow this. And I was not into the hardcore, soul style thing where, you make one tiny mistake and you're done for, I was not into that. But everybody kept talking about how amazing it was, and how I was watching YouTube channels and everybody how crazy this game was, and how it was more than likely this is probably my game of the year for sure. How crazy it was. So I had to give it another go. So I started playing it, got the controls down a little bit, actually picked a class that responded well to my playstyle, and I found a couple spots to grind souls really easy, and then, or runes I should say, and the rest is history. I grinded the crap out of this. My playthrough, I think I had close to 60 hours in. I was coming down here with my son, he was playing on my phone, and I was playing the game, and we were doing all this kind of stuff, and like I said, I was sitting there at work checking out the lore and everything from YouTube videos, just learning everything I could about this game because I loved it so much. So that was going to be my first one I'm going to talk about today, or my first one out of my 5 is Elden Ring. Now moving on to the second one, I was a PlayStation 1 era gamer, so of course I have to bring up the RPGs that made that era, and one of my favorite ones that I put so much time and effort into was Legend of Legia, whatever you want to say. As a kid I always called it Legaia, but I think it's pronounced Legia, or I said Legia and I think it's pronounced Legaia. Now in this game, a lot of it was going around and just grinding out levels and stuff like that, and then on the game, once you get your roster rules, you can start getting summons, and certain beasts and stuff that you beat you can absorb into your arm or your little attachment thing, and then you can summon them later. And besides that too, they also had all these different style of combat moves and stuff that you could randomly hit, like up, down, left, right, and stuff like that for your attack mode. So in a lot of games, you just pick RPGs especially, you just pick attack and then you just hit it with your sword and back off. No, this one, left was your arm, right was your other arm, and then you had your legs too that you can combine, and once you did them in a certain movement, you would unlock a new move to do, and it was all really cool. And besides that too, there was a ton of different equipment and everything like that, tons of stuff. And I know that the one summon that was very difficult to get was, I think I found a glitch later on where you could just run, you can bug through a wall to get to it, but you had to get to level 99 on all your characters, which when I beat the game the first time, I think the highest I ever got on levels was like 65, and that took a lot. But you had to get to 99 on everything, and then you would get this special item, and then you can open up to a dungeon and go down and grab the last summon of the game, which at that point kind of sucked because you were already so overpowered, and when you got this last summon, you really didn't even need it at that point. Going on now, I'm going to another modern game. I do not have the other copy of this, but this was one game I had to talk about, was Spider-Man Miles Morales. Especially with the first Spider-Man 2, one of the main reasons I wanted to get a PS4 was to, in fact, play these games. And yeah, it was insane. I was so super excited to play this, and especially coming off, you know, the high of basically playing Spider-Man, the original one, and then checking this game out. Oh man, it was, my son and I really got, he's really into Spider-Man, so he was really into it, and we just kind of kept playing and playing, and when I wasn't swinging around, you know, he was, so we completed it together, which is really cool. It was not as epic as the first Spider-Man, of course. This is more of like a DLC slash secondary game to play, but we collected, you know, all this, the costumes, all the extra items that were hidden around. We did all the side quests, and it was just one of those games that we could not stop. And you know, having the PS5, it did have the free PS5 upgrade too, so then when we hooked up the first HDR TV that I got and then played this in HD, this was one of the first games that I saw in, you know, 4K, which makes it even more cooler, and I was definitely gonna definitely gonna remember that one for a while, guys. And then the fourth one now, like I said, coming from the PlayStation era and then swapping it up and going to the Xbox, I was very disappointed in the time that they did not have very many good RPGs. It was kind of just, you know, discouraging, and I was like, God, you know, I just really wanted something. I think we had Morrowind, and that was about it. And I remember when this finally came out, and not only that, being a huge Star Wars fan, this just blew my mind. And we got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. God, it's just... Now, this is one of those games I didn't 100% complete like with Elden Ring. I got a lot of Elden Ring done, but you just couldn't stop. And being probably in my 16, 17 at the time when this came out, and having, you know, all the time in the world, not having a full-time job and kids and stuff like that, I remember just waking up and breathing and playing this game. You know, playing through it as a hero, and then coming back on later on to play it as a villain, doing different decisions throughout the whole game, multiple playthroughs, everything, you know, different lightsabers, different characters, different builds, and it was just absolutely amazing. And like I said, I couldn't stop freaking playing it. The story was awesome, the big reveal at the end and everything. Oh, and because of this game right here, I really am excited to see, hopefully later on, if they would bring a TV series or something that would be based on Darth Revan, or however you pronounce it. But that was just so amazing in this, and I couldn't stop. I just love Star Wars so much, and then when we got an RPG like that, and then now I think I don't know if it's come out yet or they're working on it, but I think they're doing HD remasters of it. And I remember this being very hard too, so hopefully I can pick that up someday, but I know it's a very long game and it is very grueling to play, so when it comes out, I will be super pumped. Now, for game number 5, I do not have a physical copy near me. I think I gave it to a buddy when he found his old Super Nintendo and he wanted the game, so I sold it to a buddy so he could have it. But I have it on, you know, my Retro Pi, on my SNES Classic and stuff like that. But one other game that I had to complete at some point in my life was Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, obviously. So I as kids, we beat it, you know, we completed it, and then later on I went to complete it all myself on my SNES Classic, getting all, you know, through Star Road, beating every level, and I really want to do it again one of these days and stream the whole thing. But just going through and trying to find every little, you know, secret in every little nook and cranny that game had, and you know, it's obviously one of my favorite games of all time. So it was fun to do that, just to finally, you know, beat the game, have that star up there whenever you got to the main screen, and just hope that your sibling or friend or somebody wasn't feeling like being a tool that day and just deleting it. But then we just had to do it all over again. So I mean, that was what it was. You just didn't stop playing that game, and I still make it a habit of, you know, once a year going through and beating Bowser on it, just because, you know, it's that awesome of a game. So there you guys go. I have my 5: Elden Ring, Legend of Agaya, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Knights of the Old Republic, and Super Mario World. So now here comes the fun portion of the video, where I have to challenge, you know, about 5 other people to do this. So I want to do, you know, I was going to do some of my usuals, but I don't I'm going to try and branch this out a little bit. So, Jay, with NES Addict, I know you're really busy in your life and you got a lot going on, so if you get a chance and you would like to do this challenge, the ball is in your court, my friend. And then we got Sean over at Retro Reminiscent. I know Sean there's got so many games like that too, and I'm sure he's got some great tales about which games he has completed and loved. And both these guys, I know you guys check them out on TikTok too. They do a bunch of awesome TikToks that I've deleted most of my social media, but I've held on to TikTok, so you guys can check that out. Kind of a newer one, that channel that doesn't have as many views and stuff like that, but I'd like to give him a shout out and give him this challenge too, so you guys can check him out. But we have Endless One Up. I know he's been doing a really cool series on What's on Deck, where he does a bunch of he's been playing games on his Steam Deck or Stream Deck. I think Steam Deck's what it's called. So that's been really cool. And these last two are, you know, a long shot. I know they're super busy. They got a bunch going on, but you know, if the guys over there at the Pixel Game Squad, if they got a chance and they would like to, they don't have to do all 5. If they just want to do a quick 2, you know, Ricky and Aaron and them just want to quick do it, and Gabo and them want to just talk about some of the games that they have completed in the past that they'd want to do, then heck yeah, guys, I'd love to see it. And lastly, you know, this is a big long shot too. Now I know Gerard is super busy and stuff like that. He's not a follower of the channel and stuff like that, but for some reason, if he does happen to see this, it'd be really cool to see, especially him being the proclaimed completionist himself. It'd be very awesome if he would have the chance to talk about 5 games, you know, over the years that he's done, that was his favorite to complete. So there you have it, guys. My 5 challenges shooting out there in my 5 games that I picked. And thank you once again, Matt, aka ChillScissors, for challenging me to this. This really gave me time to think. There's definitely a couple other games I could have chosen, but these ones were kind of fun, different, you know, different styles, RPGs, action, yeah, and all that stuff. So PlayStation and Xbox. There really was no Nintendo games, was there? But there you have it, guys. As always, stay retro, my friends, and you know, I appreciate you watching. Eat your vegetables.